So our first problem. I want to solve this one. So if you are solving an equation, your strategy is to get x by itself. Where would I begin here? What's my first step? Distribute. We have to start order of operations. We always begin with parentheses. Inside the parentheses, you can't actually work anything, but we can start distributing. So if I take my 3 through, that would give me a 6x minus 12 equals 17. What am I distributing through this one? Negative 1. So plus negative x plus negative 5, or you could say minus x minus 5, either way. If I just combine like terms on each side, over here 10 minus 12 would be a negative 2. 17 and negative 5 gives me a 12. Okay, I need my x's on the same side. So if I add this x over, add over my 2, divide by 7, and x is 2. Pretty short and sweet. Any questions about that one? Good enough. All right. You have two options when you're working this problem. We can either deal with the fraction or we can get rid of it. Okay. When I say deal with the fraction, there is only one term on the denominator. So you could write this as like x over 6 plus 7 over 6 plus 2x divided by 2 would be what? X. Negative 8 divided by 2, negative 4 equals negative 4. And because we're able to do that since it's just one number on the bottom. I know fractions aren't your favorite, but we have a calculator, so is this really anything to be scared of? No, we can go through this and solve it. X over 6, that's the same thing as saying 1 over 6x. So when you add like terms, you would use your calculator and you would do 1/6 plus 1. Make sure, let's keep it in fraction form. I don't want to get a decimal and round it because that throws it off. If you did 1/6 plus 1, that would give us a 7/6 x. What do you want to do next? What else do I need to do here? 7/6 plus negative 4. Okay, grab your calculator. I don't have to tell you the answer. 7/6 plus negative 4. Okay. Then we would add over the 17 over 6. So we have 7/6x equals, what's negative 4 plus 17 over 6? then what would you do? Divide. Divide by 7/6. Just a word of warning, if you're dividing fractions on your calculator, just put each of them in parentheses. When we do that, we get x equals -1. Is it possible to check your answers on these types of problems? Absolutely. All you have to do is plug it back in the original and see if it works. So that's option 1. We can just deal with the fraction. We have a fraction. We're going to work with it and go from there. Option 2, I'm going to show to you and then you guys can tell me what you like. It's just keep getting rid of the fraction. If I look, my denominators are 6 and 2. What number could I multiply by that would cancel out both of those?
0.
Well, yes, that would make my whole equation 0. Like if I multiply by a 2, that would cancel this one, but does it cancel a 6? If I multiply by a 6, does that cancel both of them? Yeah. So you could go through and take everything times 6 to get rid of the fraction. So in this one, those cancel and you just have x plus 7. This one, 6 divided by 2 is 3, so you have 3 times the 2x minus 8 equals -24. And now this looks more like the first problem we did. We have to distribute the 3. Combine like terms. And I get the same answer. So whichever way you prefer is fine. How many of you like the first way? Just breaking them up and dealing with it. Okay? How many of you like the second? Alright, so we're split pretty evenly there. I'm going to put 2 problems up and I want you guys to solve them, please. So here are your 2 to try. I'll give you a few minutes and then we'll talk about them. So if you're not quite done, that's all right. I just want to make sure we're on the right track. The first one, we had people do it both ways. Some of you split it up and some of you multiplied to get rid of it. So I'll work it both ways one more time just to show you. X over 4, that's like a 1x over 4, so you could write it as 1/4 x. Minus 2 over 4 is 1/2. X over 2, that's a 1/2 x. Plus 1/2 equals 1. Add like terms. So you get 3/4 x. The minus 1/2 cancel. Equals 1. Divide by 3/4, or you think of that as multiplying by the reciprocal. And you get 4 over 3. Second way, if you want to cancel out both a 4 and a 2, what do you have to multiply by? 4. So take every piece times 4. So in the first one, those cancel and we get x minus 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, so we have to take 2 times the x plus 1. And 4 times 1 is 4. Distribute that 2. So we get 3x equals 4. And again, x is 4. So whichever way you chose, you get the same answer. Is that one alright? B. This looks a little nastier because we have the bracket. A bracket is just like a second set of parentheses. So you're going to start on the inside and work your way out. If I am working on the inside here, the very first thing I need to do is distribute that negative. So I have a negative 5 minus a negative, so it makes plus 9 and minus 2x. Over here, distribute my 2, and we get 6x minus 2. If you want, go ahead and combine like terms inside that parenthesis. Negative 5 plus 9 would be 4 minus 2x. Now we can distribute our negative 3. What happens now? If I try to get my x's on the same side. Yeah. And I have negative 12 equals negative 2. Does negative 12 equal negative 2? So what do we say? No solution. If your x's cancel out and you're left with the false statement, there is no solution. Is that one all right? Would it throw you off if I gave you a problem that had decimals in it? It looks kind of ugly, but is it any different? Okay, so let's solve this one. You guys have a calculator, so you shouldn't get scared when you have ugly numbers. 0.06x plus, I need to distribute my 0.09. So 0.09 times 15. Okay. Minus 0.09 times x would just be 0.09x. 0.07 times 15. 1.05. So combine like terms. Positive 0.06 and negative 0.09 is negative 0.03x. Subtract over my 1.35. Negative 0.3. Okay. Now we have to do divide by the negative 0.03, and we get x equals . So fractions, decimals, they shouldn't scare us. We have a calculator, we can work through them. Okay. Last thing I really just want to touch on, there are really 3 types of problems. Most of what we've seen has been what's called a conditional. So a conditional equation is where you have one solution. If we were drawing it, we would have 2 lines and they meet one time. We did have one that was a contradiction. We got no solution. So contradictions don't have a solution. If you graph them, those are parallel lines. They never touch. The third possibility is an identity. That has infinite solutions. And that happens in the case where both equations are the same line. So I would write down, at the very least, conditional, one solution, contradiction, no solution, identity, infinite solutions. Alright, so I just want to decide if each of these is an identity, conditional, or contradiction. To do that, we're just going to solve them like normal. So the first equation, we begin by distributing. So negative 2x minus 8 plus 3x equals x minus 8. Add like terms, a negative 2x and a positive 3x is just an x. Subtract my x's and they cancel, but I'm left with negative 8 equals negative 8. So I don't have any more x's. If my x's go away, it's either a contradiction or an identity. Is this a true or false statement? True. That means no matter what I plug in for x, this thing is always true. So there are infinite solutions. So if I asked you to solve this, you would tell me there are infinite solutions. Not just one, every x makes it true. And we classify that as an identity. B. If I add over my 4, divide by 5, and I get x equals 3. So if we actually just get one answer, what is it? Conditional. It's true under the condition that x is 3. Okay. Last one. So if I distribute, I get 9x minus 3 equals 9x plus 7. Subtract our 9x, and negative 3 equals 7. So what's that? No solution, and we classify it as a contradiction. Any questions there? Okay. Then that's the end of this section. There is a Math Excel assignment, and you guys have over 20 minutes to work on that right now. So work on it, ask me questions when you need to.